Going for boost over. Well, I think going for boost if you're a boost merchant, like someone like AJ or someone, you go for boost.
100% of the time.
Yes.
Always, every second of every game. Ball's going in your net, don't worry about it. Go get the boost and make sure you've got the full 100 to celebrate with the other team.
Oh God. Never. Yeah, never. Always go for ball.
Yeah.
Number one rule of Rocket League.
Welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, where three aggressively average Rocket League players talk about everything RLCS with your hosts, Ace, Code Red Jack, Kyle Cube, and AJ Binky. So, if you've ever wondered when the best time to go for Boost Over Ball is, you've come to the right place.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first episode, welcome. If this is not your first episode, welcome back. I'm Kyle K-Cube, and today I'm here with Ace, Code Red Jack. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Living the dream. Can't wait for LCS to come back, even though we have a little bit of a wait.
Yeah, we are firmly in the off season, so some of these off season episodes will be a little bit shorter, as there's less stuff for us to talk about. But we do have some big, exciting things in the works for you guys. So more about that on our Twitter and in episodes to come. We got some exciting interviews, some potential for some additional content with some other podcasts and things like that. But in today's episode, we will be talking about some roster rumors that we missed or that broke since the last time we recorded. Some CRL action, notably the teams that have already qualified for the fall 2023 league play, and sustainability in Rocket League for organizations through the esports shop or other ideas. But with that, Ace, why don't you take us away with some roster rumors?
All right, roster rumors. So, I'm just gonna run through these real quick, and then we can kind of circle back and have some thoughts. So what we have is Atomic is set to team with Daniel in Beast Mode on G2. But that does leave us wondering what's going to happen with JNAPS and Chicago. And is it about time for JNAPS to retire? We'll get to that in a sec. Joyo is set to team with Extra, and they're going to be looking for a third. Monkey Moon is set to stay with BDS. Itachi and Juicy are set to team up, but unknown what team that's going to be. Mew is trying out to be Vitality's coach as Farah moves to KC. And then Eris is headed over to NRG. So, first thing that stands out to me is, I've heard rumors that JNAP's, no longer playing for G2, right? But is he going to continue playing for something else, or is he still around? What's his future? What do you know?
So, I don't believe that he was kicked. I think it was like maybe a contract situation similar to how, it worked out for Com, where he wasn't kicked and he didn't leave. His contract just expired. And I've seen through like Shift, RLE, and some other outlets that I know that G2 was looking to build around Atomic, who by all accounts, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, Atomic was G2's best player throughout the last season. So building around Atomic with Daniel in Beast Mode, with that deal set to go through here in the next couple of days or weeks. And Chicago announced that the game against Carmine Corp in EU was his last game with G2. So I will be very interested to see where he falls. But we really have not heard anything from G2 about JNAPS, anything about JNAPS from JNAPS or his team. So he's contemplated hanging up the controller before, so I'm not really sure where this leaves him. I think if the fire to continue competing is still there, I'm sure he will find a team. JNAPS is still one of the premier players in NA, and I'm not really sure what to make of it. I think that he tries his hand one more time, but maybe he's just enjoying the off season for now. What do you think?
I think that you've covered it pretty well. Some of the stuff that, the first thing that comes to my head is Daniel and Beast Mode. Those are two pretty big names to be teaming up with G2. And from, my super, layman's perspective, I think that Atomic Daniel Beast Mode is a much stronger team overall. JNAPs in Chicago haven't really been pulling their weight, so to speak. I don't want to see JNAPs retire. I don't want them to hang up the controller or anything like that. I would like to see these guys, you know, put in some work, come back in, be part of the meta again. But they just haven't really been performing. But the interesting I think is most interesting about this is that this is kind of a shockwave, so to speak, a reverberation from the big news that we had, was it a week or two ago? And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from version 1 no longer being a RLCS team. Am I just making that up, or
No,
am I remembering correctly?
you are remembering
So,
correctly.
so that's a huge hole, right? And it leaves Daniel and Beast Mode, who just out there. So being able to pick both them up at the same time to end up with somebody as strong as Atomic, I think is it's going to be a very different G2. Um,
For
but
sure.
who's that leave to be their coach? Is the same coach that they had before?
As far as I know, they haven't made a change there yet, but I can't imagine that maybe they won't try stuff. I mean, this is a long off season, but I think that once it's officially official, that they'll start to work things out. But this could potentially be the first major domino to fall, right? So NRG, you knew they were going to make a change up. G2, when they announced that they're going to make the change, that was pretty big. FaZe are gone, Optics gone. So I mean, there's a lot of really talented players kind of kicking about right now, and it'll be interesting to see where everything falls. But
Right. So recap that for me. So you said FaZe and Optic are gone.
yes,
We probably talked about it, but I've lost it in my brain somewhere.
so
FaZe. So
yeah,
14th clan is now just gone clan.
yeah, and
Are we
Optic
are we
left
to blame
Rocket
for
League.
that?
It's
Did
possible.
we roast them enough? I
It
think so.
it's
We're a
possible.
very large podcast.
No one has come out and said that it wasn't our fault, but no one has come out to say that it is our fault. So it's probably our fault.
I will take credit where credit is due. I mean, we roasted them out of the out of the scene.
Oh man, but purely from a hypothetical standpoint, nothing has come out. I have not heard any like rumblings or rumors about any of this. But what would you think about a team of JNAPS, Chicago, and Justin?
Um, I feel the same about Jane Apps in Chicago. Honestly, no matter who their third is, I just don't think that they have shown that they are keeping up with some of the newer talent, which, there isn't much to, it's not a very deep well to mine in NA from what we saw in this last season. But maybe with these change-ups, we're going to see something different. I don't know who would be, trying to think of who I would like to see Jade Apps Chicago with. I think Justin would be a pretty good fit. I just don't know. There's a certain level of can they perform at a level where they can at least support Justin? And Justin's another one of those that he used to be the name, right? Um, but I didn't see that in this last season. There wasn't really, a lot of hype around him, around his plays, around him carrying a team or anything like that. So I don't know. Do the three of them come back and make a name for themselves again, or is this just them slowly working their way out of the pro scene?
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. It's maybe a little bit of a trick question because I think, it would be better for JNAPS and Chicago to split up after, playing together for so long. I think that they will both be better separately. I don't know if that like makes sense, addition by subtraction. But I do think Chicago and Justin could be the beginnings of a pretty good team. You just need in my opinion, a really aggressive kind of first man. But it certainly leaves a lot of room for thoughts and ideas. Certainly, for that I'm thankful.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Chicago, Justin, and First Killer.
That'd be a pretty good team.
Think so.
Yeah.
But another thing I want to call out from our little roster rumors here, and I'm actually really curious about, is why after the season that they're having is Farah going to KC?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. He tweeted out there are reasons for everything, and you guys will know in time. So I'm not sure. Maybe he wants another challenge, wants to prove to people that he had more to do with the world championship than people thought. Maybe there was some egos or something going on. Maybe it was Vitality's decision. I have no idea, but I think that Carmine Corp certainly does really well to pick him up, and I don't think Mew's a bad option for Vitality either. But certainly interesting to see that whole saga unfolding. Like Vitality's not going to make any changes, and then all of a sudden, hey, wait, Farah's gone.
Yeah, that one is I don't know, man. That's just so strange to me because from my perspective, being there in Boston when he pulled that stunt to revitalize and turn the crowd to their side, it's like Farah is the reason that Vitality has the name that it has. Granted, I mean, they have three amazing players, but they were not looking like they were in the best shape at Boston going into that final series, and then Farah pulled that pulled that stunt and got the entire crowd behind him. Like, I feel like I would like to know more about why he's moving and try to understand it, because I feel like it's got to be a really good reason, or like you said, I think that it wouldn't be too far off for him to be like, well, I'm such a good coach, I can now do this over here, right? Um, And if he is, what happens if KC if Carmine Corp does the Vitality perfect run next season?
I mean, Carmine Corp is a stacked team with Rise, Vatira, and Atau, so it wouldn't surprise me. I think that's we're getting close to a similar talent level, but with the big brain Farah himself, anything's possible for them. So like you, I will be waiting with bated breath to see what the reasons are that Farah has for moving. Um, but I'm interested to see how it goes for him.
Yeah. Okay, Joyo and Extra. Who do you want their third to be?
I don't know. I mean, Joyo is the super mechanical player. Extra is really solid, a good, kind of glue player. I think you kind of need someone who is going to be maybe a little bit more aggressive to pair with Joyo and Extra. So there's a lot of people that are still available. If it seems people are trying to poach Team Liquid's players left and right, with Atau going to Carmine Corp and Oxygen looking to grab Big Oski. So maybe a Chronic, maybe Atomic, EU Atomic, sorry, something like that. But I will be.
What if Nolly goes back to EU and they pick him up?
Um, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't know that he's necessarily my best fit for this team. I think that he would play well with maybe with Itachi and Juicy.
I could see that.
But I was gonna say with Monkey Moon, but Monkey Moon and Nolly both have similar mentality struggles occasionally. So I think you'd struggle to put two people like that on the same team.
That's true. Yeah, because that's the thing. I think that was the biggest weakness that Gen G had, is they were absolutely phenomenal, but it did seem like Nolly would, his mental game wasn't quite there, because he'd start to miss balls, and he'd start to be out of position as soon as the temperature got turned up a little bit, which is unfortunate because I really, really love Gen G. That was the first half of last season was so good to watch. Seeing them come out and just like basically
take the region by storm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were calling it EU Light.
Yeah.
NA for a while.
But I mean, Nolly's highs were really high, but the lows were really low. And so, before I kind of thought Appjack was the kind of calming presence to try and like maybe even him out a little bit. But I mean, when Nolly's peaking, he's one of the best players in the world. But when he's not, it's very, very noticeable. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But last but not least in the roster rumors, I have to give us one of these first though. We've been on the Eris to NRG train since the beginning, and it's looking like that roster is going to be Garrett G, Eris, and AJ, like we predicted, however long ago it was. It seems like forever ago, but it was probably only a couple of weeks ago. But Eris to NRG, I'll be interested to see how he performs. He's one of the region's in according to the pros, one of the region's few up and comers. So not a whole lot of super young prodigy level talent like EU has had recently, or Mina with Nuepo or Nupo or however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, so Eris Energy, congratulations to Eris, and good for Energy.
Great for Energy, absolutely. All right, well, now we're jumping into the realm of K-Cube. Hit us with all the CRL goodness.
Okay. So there are 16 teams that have already qualified for league play, 8 in the East Conference and 8 in the West Conference, with 16 more spots, 8 in each conference, up for grabs for the rest of the open qualifiers that are going to happen, I believe, this upcoming weekend. So let's just run down the list of the teams from the Eastern Conference that have already qualified for their spot in league play. Fisher College, you may know them from CRL Worlds. Northwood Blue, Northwood White, both of those also from CRL Worlds. Same with West Virginia University. Kennesaw State, we have Ole Miss, that team that wanted to farm SSA for a quick split, just go for a quick vacation and farm the region. We got Akron Blue, and we have St. Clair Gold, the only Canadian team to qualify for CRL in this first round of qualifiers, and Eris's team, the former Hebro player who now is with NRG. Jumping over to the Western Conference, we have St. Edward's University, we have Columbia College, we have Maryville with the addition of region transfer Calix, who you saw in the CRL Worlds, Boise State, OC Esports, Columbia College Silver, and LCU Esports, and UL Red. So congratulations to the 16 teams that have already qualified for CRL League play. And for those that are unfamiliar, CRL is a collegiate Rocket League, and it is the way that they kind of run it is more of a league play system, similar to how RLCS used to run, where they play a game every week, and the top 8 teams qualify for the playoffs from each region, and you go from there. So congratulations to those teams, and good luck to those teams that have not qualified yet that will be. Shout out to Valkyrie and Stockton University, friend of the show, Valk. He is their team manager as well as the manager of Hebro, so good luck to Stockton. Good luck to the rest of the teams that will be competing in CRL Open qualifiers coming up. But
Thank you for that.
yeah,
That's a lot of information, and only you could deliver something like that. You have your finger on the pulse of CRL. Now, brain.
we may have to be a CRL podcast here for a little bit, with this being some of the most high level Rocket League that is going to be happening consistently until the off season for RLCS is over. But we'll bring back Atomic and Sasuke to help us cover some of that stuff as well. With that, in my opinion, falling under like the quote unquote bubble scene. But we will be, talking with Stockton Esports, Stockton University, and Valkyrie as we go along to see how they do, as well as potentially maybe some other people in the scene. So some exciting things to look forward to there. But with that, I figure we can jump into our last topic for today, and that being like the esports shop, organizations, and like organizational support in general. So I guess I'll start out with the first question. Do you own any decals, any items from the esports shop in Rocket League?
I would say I would say like his opinion. No, I do not. I Have not yet purchased any of the decals or goal explosion or anything like that within the game. But I do have a couple pieces of merch from, when we were in Texas and when we went to Boston. So I have a couple shirts. I have like an SSG shirt and I have a BDS shirt. But yeah, I've not actually bought any non-real, I guess, non-touchable real life objects for supporting any of these esport uh, franchises. How about you?
I have. I own quite a few of them actually. Um, some like G2, a bunch of the Space Station ones, some version 1, the OG Cloud9 one, E United, stuff like that. But I mean, with the introduction of Bacchus mod, Alpha Console, stuff like that, you don't really need to buy them to be able to see them. I mean, I know it's client side, so if you're using the custom items mod through Alpha Console or Bacchus mod, it's only you that can see it. But I mean, really, realistically, that's all that matters, right? And you can do
Yeah,
that. You can do that stuff for free. You don't need to purchase that kind of stuff.
but that adds the next question then. That leads right into the next question is does Alpha Console, Bacchus mod, those kinds of things because folks can just do it on their end and maybe some people I could see it would matter for other people to see their items, but is that cutting into the support for these teams? Obviously, if you're going to go through the process of installing Box Mod and Alpha Console and putting the skin on so you can see it, you're a fan of the organization. But what's the why not just spend, I don't know how much these are, $5, $10, these skins, right?
Yeah, it's about $5. You're right.
Yeah. So why not just kick the $5 to the esport organization that you're supporting?
Yeah, and that's a fantastic question, right? So I mean, you see the pro players rock the decals, and for our console friends, they can't use Bacchus mod or Alpha Console or anything like that. So if they wanted to use them, they had to. But the thing that I am interested in, and I don't know the answer. I don't know what percentage of that $5 that you're spending on a decal goes to the orgs, and what goes to Psionics or Epic, really. So I think that kicking back some of the money to orgs would be beneficial to the longevity of like organization in RLCS and the support from them. But I think as of right now that rocking your team's decal that you bought from the esports shop may be the best way to help support them in game. Right, it's the only way in game currently to do that.
Now the question is it might be the only way in game, but is that the best way to support an org? Or would it be, I don't know if it's, well, I guess you'd be some more, I was going to say tuning into their live streams and engage with them in social media, but that's probably more of supporting a specific player, right? Because I think a lot of the pro players stream on Twitch for a little bit of a side hustle, right?
Yeah.
So I do wonder if we should actually, you know what? Let's take it as an action item and research this and come back with ways that people can support their favorite esports uh franchise. Like, what are the best ways? Is it the in-game items? Is it reacting to their social media, their Twitch streams? Is it buying their merch? Is it, because I think that's a really good question. And I think that we could, if we can get some of the esports folks on here, we can actually ask them directly. That's a great question.
It is.
Thank you for making new content.
Oh yeah, easy. You stopped stealing content and started adding content. Oh my god.
No, don't get ahead of yourself. I'm gonna steal content pretty soon, I'm sure. I was worried I was stealing content right there. You saw how much I was tripping over my tongue to be like, wait, what did I say? I don't want to get yelled at again.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think without doing the research, right? And we'll come back. That's a fantastic idea. We'll come back next time and figure out, and let you guys know the best way to do it. But in my personal opinion, the best way to do it would be to going to, most organizations have a website. Most organizations have like some kind of online shop, whether it be Shopify or their own kind of, online shop front, storefront type thing and buying their merch, right? Because, you know, they're getting straight profit from that. But, you know, maybe, you know, like with FaZe Clan, you know, I know that they sell merch. I know G2, Space Station, I know they have version 1. They all have online merch stores to do that. So maybe that is the best way to do it. But like you said, we'll have to do some research. We'll come back and, you know, we'll explain to you guys the best way to support the organizations. And then, you know, we'll be able to go from there.
I love it.
Hell yeah. But with that, we will wrap up another little bit shorter of an episode here on the Boost Overball podcast. So from us to you, thank you so much for listening. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join our Discord, rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts, as it really helps us grow and improve. Also, check out our YouTube, our Twitch, our TikTok, and our merch store coming soon. All of those links and more can be found on our website at www.boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball.
Thank you for listening to the Boost Overball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, www.boostoverball.com, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.